Okay, so hello everyone. Today, let me first share my screen. I hope this is visible, right? Can anyone tell me it is visible or not?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah, it is visible. Okay, fine. Uh, okay, so today we will talk about week 5 previous year assignment. Okay, actually, it is not the scheduled class. The scheduled class was on Friday, but due to some problem, I could not take the class on Friday, so I'm taking that one on Sunday today. So before, obviously, if you see the question pattern for the week 5, you can see there is only one question in the programming assignment. And obviously, the programming problem is very long here in that first, in this week, not only this week, week 5 has a very long question for every week. For every previous class as well, previous years as well. But the thing is, five week 5 is a very simple one, so we will simply talk about how we can see a better representation in our formatting format or in our output, something like that. And there is a long question in that previous year assignment, as well as in this assignment also there is a long question, but only one question is there. And in that question there they were just mentioning what will be the input and what will be the output. So we have to write a program based on that one, and we will have the result of that. So as this is only one question, so I was thinking to have a simple overview of whatever it was there in the last one week. That means week 5 course. What sir was discussing. Obviously, sir was discussing very clearly. So I don't need to have a very detailed explanation of all these things, but the simple things what is needed for this program it specifically. I'm just going to do that one here, and after that we will start writing how to write the program which is given in the previous year assignment week 5. Okay, so okay, so before going to there, as sir was mentioning type of errors, so what are the type of errors we can face and how to get rid from that type of errors that he was mentioning there. So for this time being, we will just see how many types of errors are there. But I can tell you one thing that it is for the assignment what we are getting for this previous year assignment 5, that need not require any types of errors knowledge or something. But yeah, obviously it's a very good thing if you have the knowledge of type of errors and how many types of errors are there in Python. But for the purpose of the program, whatever it was given, for that case types of errors is not that much needed. But yeah, we will see that one. Okay, only for some 5 or 10 minutes or like that. So types of errors are obviously, main types of errors are 4 types of errors. One is syntax error, name error, zero division error, and index error. So by the name itself, you can understand what type of error are given. So let's say I am having a variable which is x, but I am not defining what is x, and I'm just directly writing y equals to minus x. So obviously it will show a name error. Okay, very good. Now coming to the syntax error. Syntax error means, like, obviously in a list of numbers, how we are writing the list of numbers. We are writing the list of numbers as, in every time we are giving this like one third bracket, then let's say some number 5, 10, then string a, like that. But mistakenly if I write here a colon, a semicolon, or by mistakenly if I want to write here colon, then obviously this is not representing a list. This is representing something else, and something else, whatever I am writing here, it is not in the uh, rule of Python, so obviously it will show a error. So that will be known as syntax error. Now coming to zero division error means simply like the condition, sometimes it will be a condition, let's say z equals to y by x, and in any program we are just defining x equals to 0 and y equals to some number, let's say 5. So if this is the case, then something divided by 0 is giving the infinite value. So this is zero division error. So that is not defined in Python. So obviously this is a zero division error for the Python case. Now coming to the index error is also very simple. Let's say I am writing here L 5, 6, 7, but I just want to know the value of L 50. So obviously there is no 49th term, so obviously it will give a error. Okay, so this type of errors are there. So like if I just want to have a visualization of these errors in the terminal or in the ideal Python interpreter, what I can see that the style of the error displayed in the terminal is like type of the error. At the very first, Python will show us what is the type of the error. Was it name error? Is it syntax error? Is it a zero division error, or is it index error? So they will mention that one, and after that they will mention what is the diagnostic of the about the information, like what is the meaning of that type of error and where the error is exactly specified, located. So this type of things are there. So I think you have already come across all these things here. So like we can have a very simple notation here, so that we can have a very good representation. Let's say I'm having, let's say, L equals to, so like 5, 4, 9, and mistakenly I'm just writing these things. So then you can see that it is giving a syntax error, and it is invalid syntax, it is saying here. And in idle cell, obviously it's a very good thing that it is already mentioning the highlighted portion where the syntax error is specified. But for the simple, if you are going to run that same program in let's say Ubuntu terminal, then they are just showing that syntax error is there, but they are not highlighting that portion where the error is coming. But they will say that here is the, I mean, in between 7 and 89 there is error, like that. Just simply like let's say I am writing here y equals to 5 into g. So they will say that name error, name g is not defined. So they are just specifying the error. At the very first they will see the they will tell you what is the type of error, and after that they will specify the details of that error. What is the meaning of that name error? Name g is not defined here, obviously, because I did not write anything about g previously, and I am directly writing y equals to 5 into g. So obviously it will give a error. Now let's say coming okay, so here let's say 0 equals z equals to 1 divided by 0. So this is giving us zero division error, division by 0. Obviously it is giving an error. Then let's say I'm writing here L equals to again 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, very good. Now I'm just want to write here L90. That means the 49th element. So obviously it will give an index error. That means least index out of range. So that type of things are there. Okay, very good. So these are the very simple things about the errors. Just two slides I just make here. And obviously sir was describing how to get rid of this error. Like let's say I'm having an error inside a whole big program, but I don't want to abort, I don't want to exit from the program if I have the error in the second or third line. So obviously that is not our requirement. So for this case we just modify the code a little bit, so that if let's say in second or third line I am having a problem, I think that I will assume a problem there, then I will just write here try. Then if it is an index error, then we will go for that new one, and we will have some like notation. It is like that. It is, I just copied the one slide from sir's presentation. There he was just trying here that try, then there is something means there will be some comment or something, there will be some code where the error may occur. Then if this will hit the index error, then we will come here and what to do if index error occurs. There is some code. But if let's say index error is not present here, I mean in that code, then it will directly come here to check it is the name error or key error or not. So common code to handle multiple errors. Okay. Now coming to the, if it is again the name error, it is not there, then it will come here and catch all other exceptions. And if all the things will not be done, that means whatever the code I am writing, there is no error. So obviously they will come here, they will come here, I mean from here to here, they will come from here to here, and they are not having any type of error. So what they will come here, they will just else do the calculations, execute, if try, terminates normally, no error. So if there is no error, then obviously the rest of the things we will do. So that is the little bit like get rid from the abortion from that program directly. Okay, so now actually what happened, there was some small things sir was talking about in the whole week. So sir was talking about how to write, how to read, how to open a file, how to read on that file, from that file, how to write, how to append something, some line in that in a file, or then how to split a sentence, how to find one specific word from a given sentence or something like that. And there were so many things. And let's say if I am having a input and output, I just want to give one input, then how to do that one. Or if I want to have some output in the terminal, then how to write that one. Because in the previous all four assignments, what we were doing, we were just giving the definition and then bracket there is something. So in that definition, I mean like function, in the inside the function we are giving the input. But let's say I don't want to give the input inside the function, I just want to give the function name of the, I mean I just want to give some input in simply, let's say the x value, y value, z value, I just want to give manually, and after that whatever the calculation they want to do, they just do, and after that I want a print statement where I will have the output. So this type of things is there. So if I will do these things, then what will be the syntax for that, what I have to read there, what I have to write there. So this type of things are here. So and there are very small things are there, so many things are there in these all 6 lectures. So I am not going to go through all these things, but the main things like whatever is very much needed for our case, I'm just going to do these things. Okay, so if I have the, yes, if I have this one right now, and I'm just going to do these things. Actually I did not write all the things in the PPT because it's a very long one, so there are so many things coming. So we will just do a hands-on calculation, hands-on what hands-on assignment, so that it will be clear to us, just with the help of a terminal and our keyboard. Okay, so first of all, like okay, so this I was just showing here right now, as I was telling you that this is saying that invalid syntax, and then name x is not defined, name error, then it is coming as 0 division error, now it is coming as index error, like that. Okay, now as I was mentioning that in the very previous 4 assignment, what we have done, we have just mentioned our input inside the function. But if I want to put a very simple input by our own through keyboard, then how to do that? So that is for a state for these things. So there is a statement like called the input, then there will be a second bracket, sorry, first bracket. So let's do that. Let's say I'm just going to do that radius of let's say radius of a sphere, radius of a circle, radius of a rectangle, or like that. So for that case, what I will just write here, I will just want to put the input value here. Now if I want to put the input value here, then if I just write this one, then it will be a little bit, it is not giving a 3 greater than sign. What does this mean? This means that it is waiting for some input. So radius is, I mean, as I have written here, radius equals to input something in empty bracket. It is saying that okay, radius, I have to give the value of radius by my own. So let's say I am writing here 56. Oh, the same thing I was writing 58. So okay, that is fine. So that means if I want to have the value of radius, then you can see it is a string. Then whatever I was putting there, that is a string. So let's say I don't want the radius as a string, I just want the radius as an integer. So for that case, let's say I'm just mentioning here any another name. Okay, before that I just want to write here what is the type of the radius. So you can see that radius type is string because it is giving in the quotation. Okay, but let's say I don't want the radius as a string. I want radius as a integer. So for that case, let's say in equals to something, another variable or something. So let's say like int, then radius. It is very simple that I just want to change the, sorry, this is a in, okay. Why in is not writing here? Because it is itself by default is there. So in radius, let's say I'm writing here. Then this is the integer value. Now I'm just going to write here it radius. Then no, not radius. In radius. So you can see this is simply 58. Now if I going to write here type of this int radius, in radius, then you can say that this is a class of integer. So these things are there. Now okay, so I was just mentioning these things. Now let's say what is that? Okay, print this name e is not okay. So this is for the input case. Now if I want to have the output from the terminal, so for that case simply I just want to write here print. So for print, let's say 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 1, and then x was also there. Let's say not x, what I was mentioning, let's say I was mentioning here L. I think L is not there. Yeah, L is there. Okay, so you can see here that they are just giving the print of these things. So I just mentioned there as a screenshot, and after that I just did do the same thing here in the like idle interpreter. So now okay, yeah, so let's say I just want to have a very good representation, very good outlook for the print statement. So like okay, so let's say I'm writing here x equals to 67, then like let's say y equals to 90, then let's say z equals to 0, sorry, z equals to 0. Then what I want, I just want to print all these things, all the values. But if I write here like that, then this is simply coming as 6790A0. But I don't understand. I mean, if someone will come and someone will say that what is the value of 67, what does this means by 90, they can't understand. So for that case, I just need to write here like some specification, what is the value of x. So this is value of x, let's say value of x. Then there is a space, colon and space, then comma. So sir was also discussing about how to truncate this comma, how to truncate this space with the help of a shape and end or something. So these type of things are also there, but I'm not going to go all the details. So you can see here value of y, then this, then let's say comma, then I'm just going to write here value of z. So then it is coming as z. So then you can see that value of x, then there is a space. I mean, I'm just specifically writing the space here. Value of y, value of z is like that. So then one can understand, okay, this is the value of x, this is the value of y, this is the value of z. Okay, so now another one thing is there in the end statement. So end statement is also there. So this type of statements are already there in that notebook of what SAD was providing. So this type of things are there. So I'm not going to tell these things right now. But now what is a little bit important for our case, let's try to do that one. Okay. Okay, before going to there, that open statement, and okay, if I have a file, then how to read that one, how to write on that, like that. So first of all, I'm having, you can see here, if I, okay, here I can go, yes. So you can see I was having one text file, yes, let's say this is a text file, text dot something. What maybe? It's a very simple two line text or something that like print continuous on the then print same line next line like that. So what does this means? This means like there is a print, then there is a continue on this, then end of this, then same line end of dot, then next line. So how it will look? It will look like continue on the, then it will not go for the next line. It will just go on the same line. So continue on the same line as a whole, and after that actually it will come as like continue on the same line. It will come as a without any end line. Now as I have just mentioned explicitly dot slash n, so that means it will go to the next line and then it will write it like next line. So sir was already mentioned all these things very clearly. So for the sake of that completeness, I am just writing here. Okay, very good. Now again, we can go to our ideal interpreter. Okay, so let's say I'm just having a simple program here. Yeah. So you can see here at the very first, let's say I'm writing here that what like f equals to something like next line, then common line or something. So this is f. Okay. So now this, okay, so this is like I have to open this tech.r here. So let me write here if g equals to something like different. So open, then open statement. Open means like whatever I was there in that test.txt, let's say. Then this is, sorry, this is the name of that file. Then how what I will do with that file, I just want to read the file. So for that case I'm just writing here this no such file. Okay, what was the name of that folder? One, I think. Okay, yeah, test1. Okay, for this case, okay,
We need to give the path, ma'am.
yeah, but it is already given. Yeah, I have to open that one separately. I need to give the path here. But yeah, like you can understand these things because I have to write all the paths here. But the thing is, it's very simple that you have to. So like I have to. So let's say if open test, then f is like the value of pi, the Avogadro number is very large, something like that. Then if close, if
If
open.
if we want to give path, it is simply we will start with double slashes. Sir.
Ha. So I'm not giving these things because it will take a little bit time because we have to go for the programmer directly. But yeah,
So
just see some things like the open, read, write, a. All these things are simply like okay. Just simply you can see
so
here open, then a file name, then r. R means for the read. And let's say I just want to have a write statement. I mean I just want to write something. Then there will be w and there will be a. A is like appending something which is already existing. I just want to append on that. So for that case it is like that. But okay, what we need for this program, I mean today's program, that is this one strip. So that I just want to write here simply. You can see here input equals to something, anything I'm writing here, and I'm having a very long space. So this is the input here. So if I write here what is input, then you can see that there is a space, then something, and after that there is something, then there is something, and there is space. So strip is nothing but they will just squeeze these things. I mean they will just remove the spaces, whatever it is given in that expression. So if I just want to write here input, let's say dot strip, input dot strip will what, it will totally do this left and right one, not the in between one. Okay, so let's say I'm having the from the very beginning, from the very left side some space, and there is some space on the extreme right. So these two will be removed by the help of strip, but it will not remove the in between spaces, because in between spaces Python will not understand what is the, I mean, what is this, like they will just understand, okay, this is very important for our user, so I will not remove that one. But for, let's say, for input, let's say L strip, so L strip, then what it will, okay, yeah, input, our input was this one, so input, then sorry, L strip, so it will do like from the left hand side, it will just remove the spaces. Now coming to the input right, so it will just remove the right hand side spaces. So this is, so why I'm just writing here this strip function, because strip, I mean strip command, because in the program, when we will run this program, there will be a little bit format, I mean there will be some spaces in our input, so I just want to remove that spaces for this input, whatever the input will be there for our programming, I just want to remove that programming spacing. So that's why we need there R strip, L strip, or simply strip. Okay, we will do that, we will see that one in the next few minutes. Okay, now there is another one which is very important for us, that find. So find is nothing but in our any like paper, you can see that Control F. If I press Control F, then we can write something. Then that is reflecting in our paper how many times this word or this sentence are giving here. So it's just like a finding a number, or finding a sentence, or finding a word. So similarly here I can write here as like, let's say H equals to some long sentence like give me some space, 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 etc. something. So you can see here space, 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 there 3 times. So if it is there, then I just want to write here just find what I want to find. So let's say I'm just want to find here me. So find me is already only once, right? So if oh, okay, sorry, it will be H dot find string. Okay, I mean inside the string I have to write here. So inside, okay, so what it is showing here, this is showing some name, I mean some number. So some numbers means like 1 2 3 4 0 1 2 3 4 5. You can see the where the me is coming. So me is coming from 0th 1 2 3 4 5. So fifth, from the fifth position, a me is like present here. So for the find case as well, like I just need to have the find syntax here in our next program. So that's why we just have a little bit I mean calculation, I mean example of these things. So let's say I'm having that what space, space you can see here, sorry, space is where it is in on the 13th position. Now I just want the space in this space I want. So for that case, as sir was already mentioned these things, so for that case what I need to write here, I need the space one, that is fine, but I need this space after the first space. So first space was at the position of 13, right? So let's say I just want the from the 9 to the length of h. So then I will have the next one. So 9th position is also a space, obviously. I mean that time I did not calculate this one. So this is the thing. Now yeah, now the split is also very much important here. So let me write here split. So for split, let's say I'm having whatever it was given here, let's say SS equals to 2351793, anything. Sorry. So this is a SS, like SS variable. So now if I just want to write here split, okay, so split by which sentence I just want to, I mean, in which, by which notation I just want to split that one. So maybe I'm just going to split this with comma. Okay, so for this case, what it will show? It will show that 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 0 all are separated by comma and all are having a string, and they are making a string list. So if I have the SS, if you say that SS is simply a string with the help of with the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 0. But I just want to write here SS split. So what it will do? It will do, and with the with which notation I just want to split it? It is like comma. STR split. Okay. SS is split. I can see. Split, yeah. So I just make the mistake. So you can see here these are the, I mean, by comma it is just splitting. Now, yeah, anything else? Yeah. So now here, okay, so this is like one means like first one will be splitted, and the rest of these things will be same as whatever it was before. Now if I write here 2, then that means first 2 will be splitted and the next one will be the same as it is. So these things are there. Okay, so these are simply okay. And one more thing was there, you can see here, let me something new I was just written here as a first. Now you can see if I just want to find the something, the something is at 7th position. Now the something one, that means the first one I just want to write. Now if I just want to have the 8th, from the 8th one to length first, so it is giving us a 17th position. So that type of things are there. So now if I just want to write here PUY, if I just want to find the PUY, but PUY is not here in that first. So what it will return? It will return as -1. -1 means it is not having any value in the given first string. So then again, if I just want to write here first, then you can see here this is the first. Now for the replacing case, replace means like I was just writing here first replace. What I will replace? I will just replace new by very new. So it will come as, let me something very new. So it was previously new, but I'm just writing here very new. So this is the thing. Now for the split again, I just written here that 5134, then split 1, that we were just talking here. So let's say SS1. SS1 means there was a string. In that string, let me write here 3 percentage to the power something, percentage to the power something. So by which I just want to split? I want to split by this like notation, percentage and to the power. So what it will come? It will come as 3,89, this, because it was there itself. Yes. So then join is also important. For join case, like name equals to, let's say some name is there, surname is there, year is something. So I just want to join all these names, surname and year with the help of this, let's say this notation. So what I will write is just simply the notation, then dot join, then inside the bracket I will just write here name, surname, year. So what it will do, it will just join the name, then surname, then year with this notation. So then you can see the output of that. So this type of things are there. Okay, so one question, this is not exactly related to today's lecture, but I just want to mention one thing before going to the assignment part. So there was one question from so many students that the final exam will be like quizzes or something, or how the final exam will be. So final exam, this is the like reply from sir itself. So sir was writing here that final exam will be like quizzes, some MCQ and some fill in the blank. There were so many students who were asking about the question pattern, how the question will be there for Python course. So there is no programming exam You can see here there is no programming exam. That means whatever sir is giving us as an assignment, that is only for our understanding, for giving a better understanding of Python uh, of ourselves. But in the exam will be simply the quizzes, some MCQs and some fill in the blanks. And in the fill in the blanks there will be something, some portion which will be blank for the program. For let's say there is a program and I have to written some of the line of that program, not all the program I have to write in the exam. So that was there in according to this case. Okay, this one I will tell a little bit later. Just come to the question first. So there is a very long question. You can see the question is starting from here, then this, then after that this. It's a little bit long question, but let's try to read the question first. Okay. So you may assume that the data is internally consistent. Okay. There was something. You may assume the data is internally. Okay, fine. Okay. Each section of the input, just see this one will come for the question at the very first. So how the input will be and how the output will be. So you can see there is about a library, okay, library of a university. So in that library you can see for the library of the university there are lots of books in the library. So how do I understand which one is there in which section, and who is going to borrow this book for some days or some months? So there is a list of these things and I am going to write something about these dates and about the borrower name, about the book's name and author's name, something. So just see the sentence here. Each section of the input starts with a line containing a single keyword. Okay. So input will be like, each section of the input starts with a line containing a single keyword. The first section will be what? The first section begins with a line containing books. At the very first, I will have some information about books. The second section begins with a line containing borrowers. Okay. So first input will be something about books. The second information will be given as an input as borrowers. Third section begins with a line containing checkouts. So checkout means what? Like when, okay, I will tell what is checkout, but just see the question first. The end of the input is marked by a line containing end of input. If I write here end of input, that means I am just going to stop my input section. Okay. Write a Python program to read the data as described above. So at the very first we have to write a Python program which will read this type of data in a sequence. What type of sequence is there, that it is giving here, and print out details about books that have been checked out. Each line should describe to one currently issued book in the following format. So we have to write in a following format the input. I mean the input should be given, the input is given like that books are there, borrowers are there and checkouts are there. But in our programming, our output format will be like that: due date, then full name, then accession title number and then title. So what does this means? We will go a little bit clear here. The output should be sorted in increasing order of due date. For books due on the same date, sort in increasing order of full name. Here is a sample input and its corresponding output. Just see the input and then output, then we can have an idea. So this is the input. So you can see, as I was telling, that in the first section books will be there, in the second section borrowers will be there, and in the third section checkouts is there, right? So for books, there you can see there is a list of books. I just mentioned in the input. Like I did not write that one. That is already given in that assignment. So what type of input will be there and what will be the output for that? So input will be in that sense, like This is, you can see here for the book, this is okay, this is the code of that book. I mean, if you go for a library, then you can see that there is a name of the book, and in each book there is associated a code number. Otherwise you can't find any book very easily. So there should be a unique code for each and every book, right? So let's say I'm having advanced portion making, there is a name of that book, something, some title is there, and the code is like APM hyphen 001. Now let's say coming here, getting with Gauls, this is GWZ001. This is the code of that book. Similarly, APM 002, DMT 001, DMT 003, GWG 002, DMT 002. So these type of things we will have as an input for the books section. Okay. So books will be like simply code, the book code, and then the title of that book. Okay. And you can see here there is this sign. This sign, if you just zoom a little bit, I think I can zoom a little bit so that you can understand. This is nothing but one tilde. It is not a dash or hyphen. This is like tilde. Okay. So code, then it will join by tilde and then the title. Okay. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. So this is the books list. Okay. Now coming to the borrowers list. Borrowers list is this one. So what is borrowers list? Borrowers list mean, I mean, who are going to borrow these things. So there is some name, there is different names, whatever you can say, and they have also some code. So let's say SLY2301 is this one, SLY2302 is this one, this name, this one has the code of this one, this one has the code of this one. So everyone has a unique code. Okay. And checkout means like when they are going to borrow this book and what is the due date of this book. Actually checkout means the due date. Okay, like up to which time they can have the book by themselves. So what is this? This means that you can see here SLY2304. So SLY2304, that is nothing but mentioning this one, this fellow, SLY2304. So this is the fellow, and the name of that fellow is Bertram Abre. Okay. Now coming to DMB, DMT. DMT is what? DMT means like DMT 002. That means this DMT 002, this one. And then what was there? 2019327. That means this line suggested us that this person with the code SLY2304, he or she is having the book DMT 002 Defensive Magical Theory, which has a due date as on 20190327. So this is the due date. Okay, I mean up to this time they can have the book by themselves, like that. So then there is another one that 2730222019. There will be another person which will have the name as 2301. Let's say 2301 is this one. So this one, and ZWZ, which book he or she will have? They will have the book ZWZ001. So ZWZ001 is getting with Gauss, like that. Then up to which time? 273219. And then similarly these three are the inputs, and then I am just going to close my input as end of input. So this is the input. So I think you understand the input structure. So for the input structure, at the very first, books will be there, then borrowers, then checkout. Checkout is giving the information that which borrower is taking which book up to which time. So this is the three information they are having through the checkout information, input. And by the help of this code and this code, I can understand what is the information for these borrowers as well as for the books. So is there any problem in that input section? Input section is fine, so that we can go for the output section. So this is the whole input section. So there will be three sections. One is books, another one is borrows, and third one is checkouts. Okay. So now coming to the output section. Yes. So sample output. So sample output will be what? I think you can't see these things together, or I can. Okay, wait. Maybe if I just open this one in a different new window. Okay, now you can see. Yes. Okay, so this is the input. This is our input. Yes. This is our input and this is our output coming. Here the output is coming. So what is the output here? Okay, output will be exactly similar, but the difference is at the very first checkout will come. You can see here the checkout. Okay, you can see here. You can see here that at the very first the checkout time will come, due date, then the name, like let's say there was one code. With the help of this code we can understand what is the name of that borrower. So then the code of the book and the title of the book. You can see the output labeling is there. The output will be in that file, like due date, then full name, accession number, and then title. So full name, then accession number means that code of the book, and then this title of the book. So output will be like at the very first due date will be there, then the name of the borrower, then the code name of that book, and what will be the title of the book that is given. I mean that should be given. That should be the output. So is it fine? Like you can understand the input as well as the output, because input will be a little bit more numbers and output will be a little bit compact form. Okay, so input is like books, borrowers, and checkouts. Sample output will be like at the very first due date will become, then the name of the borrower, then the code of the book, and then the title of the book. It will be like that. Okay, and one more thing is there. It is already mentioned somewhere. Yes, your output should be sorted in increasing order of due date. Okay, that is also important to note here. You can see at the very first, okay, there should be some sorted function. Sorted, I will show you the programming, then you can understand what does this mean by sorted one. But there should be a sorted function so that the increasing order of the due date should be given in the output. So increasing order of output means at the very first you can see here among these dates. These dates means at the very first the date is at the very first the date is 27th March, then 14th March, then 3rd April. Okay, so these three dates are given here. So among these three dates, which one is the lowest one? I mean, which one is the previous one? Previous most one. Previous most one is 14th 3, because 14th March is the previous one, and after the 27th March will come, then 3rd April will come. So I have to write the output in an increasing due date. Like at the very first, the previous book will be taken from that borrower. Then the next one will come at the 27th March, and the third one will come as 3rd April. So that should be mentioned here. I mean that should come here as well as the output. So how many things we need to take care? We need to take care that at the very first I need to have the input in this function, and I have to read this input from the keyboard. Then I have to make the output in this format, and I will have the output with the increasing order of due date. For books due on the same date, shorted.
Ma'am, the meeting is going to end in another 10 minutes, ma'am.
Sorry?
That's what it says. No, the meeting is going to end in another 10 minutes. That's what it says.
Oh. Okay, no problem, because I will just join there quickly. Where is that one? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if also it will end, then we can just come here. We can come here with the same link, no problem. Okay, so yeah, so this is the output and input case. Now, yeah, so how many steps we need to follow? We need to follow that we have the input like that, and our program should understand what are the inputs has the meaning, and then I need to have the output as this function: due date, full name, accession number, and title. Also, I need to have the sorting in the increasing order of due date. And another thing is there, I need to have the sorting in the increasing order of full name. That is also important, because you can see here increasing order of full name, right? So here you can see 27. I told that 27 will be at the very first. Sorry, 14th will be the very first, because this is the previous one. I mean, at the oldest date. So 14th March will be first. Then 27th March will be there, and then 3rd April. But the thing is, in that 27th March, we are having two due date. I mean, two due date are there. So for this case, at the very first, who have the alphabetically previous name, that will give the first one. So here you can see that Batram Arbe. So B is coming here. That Hannat. So H is coming later than B. So that's why B is coming first, and then H is coming next. For this 3rd April, Hannat is coming first, and then Stewart is coming next. Because this is H and this is X. So this is the thing. Okay. Okay, so I think you can understand the program at least. I mean, the question, then we can move for. Okay, so now it will go for next 1 hour, no problem. Okay, yeah. So this is the program. I mean, this is the question at the very first, because question has a little bit long question, so that's why it will take a little bit more time to understand first. And this is the input, this is the output. Now we can go for the solution part. So solution, as I mentioned here, that there will be four things we have to take care. First one, we have to take care about the input. Then the second one will be the what will be the format of the output, and the output should be in the sorted order. Uh, Sorted order of due date, and for the same due date it will be in a sorting order of increasing order of full name. So these four things we have to take care in our programming. Okay. uh okay, so maybe I can directly go here, because it will take some time. Okay, so I just mentioned here all the things so that it will be very much quick to understand. Yeah, so first of all, so as I mentioned, there are three things: books, borrowers, and checkouts. So at the very first, we will just initialize these things. So for at the very first, we will initialize books. So books is nothing but in the dictionary. Why we will have the dictionary? Because there is.
Can you please share your screen, ma'am?
Oh, it is not sharing. Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry. I thought that it is sharing. Share. Yeah. Manage Windows desktop. Okay. Now can you see the screen?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for this, yes. Yeah. So as we were talking here, that there will be three things in our input. So we have to first initialize these three things. So you can see here dictionary to map access and number of title. So here for the books we are just assigning dictionary. for borrows we are also assigning dictionary, but for checkouts we are just assigning the number of, list. Why we are doing that things? Can anyone tell me why we are having books as dictionary, borrowers as dictionary, but checkouts as a list? Can anyone tell?
Because books and borrowers will have
Because
different keys. But checkouts,
No,
uh,
why books are in dictionary form?
it will have a keys, right? These are different keys, something like
Key and
the book name as a key.
in
What
dictionary, what are the two
hello,
things we need?
hello.
keys we need to give, and then the value.
Yeah, keys and values. And key will be, let's say, as in that case, in that book's case, you
Books.
can see there is code as well as
Okay.
title. So the code will give a key, and the title of that key will be the value, like the advanced portion making or something. So that will give a value of this key corresponding to that key. And for similarly for the borrowers, you can see the borrowers have the code like SLY2301, and the value of that one is Hannath Abot. So that's why we are just writing here as a dictionary. But for the checkout case, you can hear, oh, you can see, obviously it is already written now, these things. But yeah, for checkout things, it is list to store checkout data, accumulate, sort, and print. So checkout means like only the data, means like there is something 2019 327, then 2019 314, this type of things will come. Okay, so at the very first I'm just going to initialize all these things. So
Maybe your
initialize,
voice is not coming.
yes. Okay, so initialize means at the very
Yeah.
first there will
Yes.
be empty dictionary and empty list. Okay, so for books it is the empty dictionary, for borrowers it is empty dictionary, and for checkouts it is empty string. Sorry, list. Okay, now find the start of books.
Since we need to make a since we need to make a start, we are using the list. That is one of the reasons.
I can't hear you
The
properly.
checkouts list. So we are initializing the checkout as a list, right? Hello, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can't. I can barely hear you. Can you tell me again?
Yeah. Can you please explain the checkouts why we have initialized as list?
I can't hear you properly. Okay, checkout you are talking, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can see here as well. Like books and borrowers, they will have a code, and proceeding of that, there will be some values of that code. So for that case, we are just writing here dictionary. Now that list means like they, sorry, checkout will have the number of data. Like there will be simply, okay, you can see here there will be this and this. So if I just write, see here, 1 2 3 informations are given, but for dictionary we are having simply two information in one thing, like one is keys and one is values. So simply I will explain these things in the latter as well. But the checkout, if I will write it in a list form, then that will be very much useful for having the output in this format, whatever we need here. We will see there just after some time. Okay, just see here. First of all, okay, first of all, I just want to write here, I just want to append something in books. So books was previously a empty dictionary, but I want to append something in books. So how to append these things? So you can see here, find the start of books data. So okay, at the very first I'm just going to input, you can see here, input this first column. What does this mean? This means that whatever the out in, if I write here next line equals to input up to this, if I don't want to write these things, that will that means that in our terminal, whenever I am going to write here next line, that means it will, so it will just blink, it will wait for the input from the user. So they will just wait for the keypad integer values putting and all. So next line is input, then something. Input will be there as a name of next line. Now here it is strip. strip of this. So strip of this means, as you can see, there is a book. I mean, the input will be in that form. So if input is in that form, you can see here all the things will be as our input at the very first, right? So all the things will be input as a in our very first thing, and I am going to write here strip this. That means I just want to discard all the left and right spaces from every line. You can see if I write book input is like that, then our in that first line books has a very long space in the right side, but I don't want this one, so I am going to strip this. Not only this, I just want to strip all the extra spaces in this input. So that's what just simply strip. It is not like that L strip or R strip it is mentioning, because I just want to strip all the left hand side as well as right hand side spaces. Okay, so this is for the first one. So next line input strip. Now this is our input without any spacing. If I just have this command, right? Now coming to the next one, while next line find books. So next line find books. You can see that find books. That means I just want to have the information where the books are coming. So if it is book is there, then, and while this is less than 0, can anyone tell me why it is less than 0? Telling I'm telling that it is less than 0, then next line will come as input strip. Okay, if you can't understand, just first let me run this one, then we can have the discussion. Why I am doing that? Run. Oh, sorry. Because if I will run and after that I will tell, then that will be good. Okay, I have to write all these things as an input here, but let me write from the, okay, not this one. Oh, I don't have the access right now, maybe, because I have to write all these things in this case. Wait. Okay, let me write, no problem. I think I have this, but I don't know where it is. Okay, we have to check. Just I can write it like for simply some things. It will be too long. Should I write? Okay. APM simply like 002, then APS. Right. I have to open this one, otherwise it's too long one. Too long. Yeah, I can come here. Just a minute. Because that I have to copy this input, the long input. Yeah, just a minute. Week 5. Yes, you can see this is the, so this is the input and I'm going to put it here. Oh, this. No, not this. Correct. Run module. Yes. So I'm just going to show you the output first, and after that we will go for the explanation. So you can see here. Yes. And this one. Yes. Yes. So this, see, I just copied the input and pasted here as a input, and you can see the output. Just first see the output is correct or not. You can see at the very first 14/3/2019, then that name, then APM 002 advanced portion making, then focus on
Ma'am,
this.
how to run this program? How to run this program that you had in the another
Okay.
file?
Okay. So how to run means, if you are using idle, because it depends on the different interpreter. So as I am using here Windows, in the Windows you have to just open the idle cell, right? In that idle cell, yes, you can say this is my program. Whatever I was just writing in a different name, something week 5 prev1.py. So that is a Python file, and I'm just giving saving that program in a different .py file, right? Now I just come here as a run, but how to open this one, that also I can tell you. See here, this file is coming, this file, in that file open, then where you have just put your program, you can just go there. You can see here, this is week 5 prev1. So this I can open here. Yes, it is already opened here. So now in that case, that run, then run module will come directly to that idle shell. You can see here, it is written as restart c user, the name of that user, then downloads week 5 programming, week 5 prev1.py. It is going to run here. I mean, it is already going to blink something as a input. So for
Okay.
that input, I am just
Okay.
going to paste all these things, because there are very long things as a input. So I'm just going to paste all these things, and I just enter this. So if I enter this end of input, that was the last input for myself. So then end of input, then you can see this is the output. So just see the output is come exactly same as this one. Now the thing what we need to mention here, there is a join with this line. This is also one thing, and another thing is we just have the sorting of the numbers. I mean that date of the checkout. So these things we will now see. So now you can understand that whatever we were just writing here as the program, that is correct. But how to write this one in this form? So here you can see, yeah, what we were talking, yes, find the start of books data. So here this was the input I just write, so here side by side. So these are the books, borrowers and checkouts name. Now this one, what it will do, at the very first there was a initialization that we all understand. Now coming this line is find the start of books data. That means I just want to take these values for books. After that, for borrows, I want to take these values. Now I just want to take these values for checkouts. It is fine, right? So for the books data, so next line equals to input dot strip. At the very first, I'm just going to remove all these spaces and all these things. Then while next line dot find books, that means where you can find the book. So here at the very first, when I am just put the input at like that, then this is coming as, I mean, I can see at the very first line books is there. Okay, very good. So for the very first, books is there. So for this line, books will be at the position of 0th position, because you can see if I write here next line, like if I have g equals to something books are, then next line given. So g is books are given. Okay, then if I have g dot find books, that is giving 0. That means it is on the 0th position. So Similarly, when I will have this input, then at the very first I will have these books. Okay, then whenever I will find these books, that means next line dot find books. Whenever I will find that books, then if it is if this line is less than 0, less than 0 means at the very first if I am here, then what it will count? It will count here. It will come here. So here it is of less than 0, then next line is equals to input uh, bracket dot stripe bracket. So just actually this is a long program and we have to check these things each and every line here. So it's better to write it like that here in that case. So I'm just writing here same thing, while G, right? Wait, let's say next equals to input something dot strip something. Okay, this is telling that I'm just going to write here input something. So input something means books are. Okay, now see the next are books are. Okay, without any space. Now let me write here. Okay, maybe I can write one more thing so that it will be good to understand. Oh, this. Then let's say I'm writing here books are given, then there is some space, then next. Okay, stripe is already given now. Okay, so books are given and here you can see there is some spaces are there. Now I am writing here while next dot find books. Okay, so if it is coming here less than, okay, just find at the very first, just find what is the number of that book. This is 1. Okay, so this is giving us 1. Hello, hello. Okay, hello everyone. So I was disconnected. So now we can resume our class. So you can see we were discussing about this problem, and in that problem there we were just up to this line we were discussing. So this line is what? This line is nothing but they are just it is mentioning the sureness that in our input books are present, books word is present, book string is present. Okay, so what does this means? This means that the next line equals to input strip, that is fine. Now while next line dot find books is less than 1, then it will go to here. So that means, so if I have the input containing books string, then I will not come in that line. If it is not contained any books in my input, then I will search for books in the input. Okay, so this uh, comment is nothing but telling us that we have to make sure that in our input books string is present. If book string is not present, then it will work, it will run. Otherwise, if books string is present in our programming, then we will skip this line and we will go to the next lines, right? So that is the what? That is the working principle of while. If while is true, then only it will come for the condition. If it is, I mean, code, if it is not true, then it will simply skip this line and it will come to the next line. So why I mentioned here this line? Because we need to have the books word in our input. Okay. So in that case, you can see that while next line dot find books less than 0, then it will come to the next line. Otherwise, if it is not true, that means if it is false, then it will simply go to the next line. It will not see this line. So this means if I just want to have a clear representation, then what I did, I just make a very small program, just exactly same one what I was doing there. I just make a very small portion of that program and I'm going to run that. Okay. So this is, yes. Now you can have, let's say I am having, where is the input? I am having the input. Let's say I am having the input books. Okay, so now you can see if books is there, then obviously there it is not going to search anything else. It is already given that, okay, that means our programming is done. Because why? Because it is just going to find where the books are. Okay, so now if I just want to write here print, then let's say next line, then what it will show? It will show that books, obviously, because books string is present in our input. Now let me do one thing again. I am going to run that one, and I am going to write here something else other than book. Then you can see that if I just enter that one, that is again waiting for something. Again I am writing something, it is not taking this value, it is waiting for the books only. So if I write here books, then it will stop. Okay, so that is the beauty of this program, that whenever the books will come, only then you have to complete our input for this line, at least, I mean for the main program. For this small program, only up to this one, if books are present in our input, that is more than enough. Okay, so that means what? For this line is nothing but to find whether the books word is present in our programming or not, in our input or not. So if it is there, that means it will not see here, it will just come here. So now fine. So now while next line dot find borrowers less than 0, that means when borrowers is borrowers is present in the input, then it will not see this portion. If borrowers is not present in that line, then it will see this line. So what is this line? This line is nothing but to make sure the form of the books. So you can see in that example what we were talking. Yes, this is the input. So input means at the very first books is there, then after that something is there. So at the very first, as I already mentioned, that books they have already taken. So if books is there, that means it will go in the next line. Next line means up to which line it will run. It will run up to which, when the borrowers is not finding. So that means the whole books will right now run. Okay, so for whole books case, what is the terms here? The term is nothing but the next while next line find borrowers less than 0. So up to this line, there is no borrowers, so that means it will work. So this will work up to this line. Okay, so for that case, what is there? Accession number comma title, which is equals to next line dot split, then tilde. So here you can see accession number comma title. So this one accession number is this one. Like we can just give a variable as accession number. So accession number is this one, and the all other things will be the title, but it will be split by this tilde, because you can see on in the input there is all the tilde are the difference between the accession code and the title. Okay. So now the books accession number is equals to title, because books is a dictionary. So I have to put the values of the accession values in the key accession number for the dictionary books as books accession number equals to title. Okay, very good. So that means we are just going to tell the Python program that okay, so this is the accession number and this is the title of the book. Okay. Now coming to the next line and input strip. So that means it is again coming to the next line. Now the thing is, if it is up to this, then it will see the borrowers. If it is see the borrowers, then what will happen? It is going to be okay. But so that means what? So up to this is fine. Up to this is fine. And when it is not see the borrower, when it will see the borrowers, when it will see the borrowers means it will not see this line, because borrowers, it is seeing the borrowers means it is now greater than 0. So it will not see this line, it will simply go to the this portion. So in this portion what is happening, the similar thing is there, but only the borrower's loop will continue up to when the checkout will come out. So that means in this portion the borrower thing will be work out. Okay. So borrower thing will be work out means for that borrower case also you can see username and full name. So username is this one and full name is this one, and they are differentiated with the tilde sign. So next line dot split tilde and then borrower's username equals to use full name. The same thing is there. Then it will come as next line input strip. So it will come in next line. So now this loop will continue up to which it is not going to see the checkout. If it is going to see the checkout, that means it is greater than 0. So this condition is not fulfilled right then. Then it will simply go to the next line. So in that next line, what is happening? In the next line, it will see the next line same thing will be there for the checkout, and it will the checkout will be run up to which up to the string end of input. So whenever it will see the end of input, then it will stop, and otherwise it will just go and go and go. So for that checkout case in the you can see that username, accession number and due date. Username, accession number and due date. So it is next line split tilde. So both all are divided by the split sign. So the checkout line. So checkout line is what? Checkout line is nothing but due date. So now checkout line means I'm just going to make this one, this output. So this output will be like due date, then plus, then there it is a concatenation. So that's why I'm just writing here simply plus. Then there is a tilde, then borrower's username, which is full name. You can see here borrower's username is this one. Then tilde, then accession number, then tilde, then books. Books accession number, right? So now the exactly what we are going to see in the output, I'm just going to write that one in this form. Now checkout.append is checkout line. So now checkouts will be appending with the checkout line in each case. And whenever it will come to the end of input string, then this one will not be worked anymore, and this will come directly to this line. So what is this line? This line is nothing but for checkout line in sorted checkouts, because we need to have the sorting thing, like sorted in increasing order in the due date and sorting in increasing order in the name. So we have to do the checkout as a sorted one. So for checkout line in sorted checkouts, print checkout line. That's it. Okay. So for this case, let me run this problem. So if I just want to run this problem with, let's say up to this, so here it will not run. Why? Because not enough values to unpack. Why? Because there is no value as borrowers and checkouts. But let's say I am having the value, okay, not this one, let me write, run again. So see, now I am going to write this, and then let's say borrowers. Then something APMF, then tilde something, then any values. Okay, this is a string, so that means up to this. So like that. So that means what? I just want to mention one thing, that this programming is nothing but at the very first I have to check where the books is finding, then from books to borrowers whatever the data are there, that will be for book grouping. Then if borrowers we can find, then from borrowers to checkouts what are the values are there, that should be grouped in. And then from checkout to end of input what are the values are there, that should be grouped in. Then at the very last, that checkout will come in the sorted from a checkout line, in sorted checkouts print checkout line. So checkout line I have to take, and where I will just put the output in this format. So this is the case for this program, and this is very simple as well as very interesting, because we need to find the end of input. So you can see here in that question as well, it was mentioning that the input will be stopped by the end line as end of input. So when we will have the end of input, only then I will just have this values, otherwise I will not have the value. Okay, so maybe I can have a small full program input, so that it will be more understandable. Just see, I'm just writing here books. See, this is saying that it is not enough values to unpack. Yes. So why it is not showing that enough value for unpack? Because you can see here, I'm just going to write here books, borrowers, then this whole thing. If whole thing is there, then only it will show that okay, it's now very good. Run mod, oh sorry. So end of input, then you can see the output is coming like that. Now let's say I am writing here no end of output. Then it is saying that multiple statement found while compiling a single statement. This is saying that not enough values. Why not enough values? Because there is no end of input. Now let's say I'm just running again, so that let's say I'm writing this, but I'm just deleting these values. No, then this, right? This is also saying that not enough values to unpack, expected to got one. Why? Because there I did not write anything about checkouts, so obviously it will show an error. So now let's say I'm just again writing that one for the completeness, and this, let's say I'm just deleting this borrows, whole borrows. Then I'm just coming here, then also it is coming that it is not enough data, not enough values. Now if I want to have the whole, then only I can have the values of these things. Now let's say I am just going to remove this sorted, and I am going to run this. Then you can see that there is 27, 27, 14, 3, 3. So it is coming as different one. If again I am just going to run that, this is coming as, it is not going to sort it, right? But in that calculation, in that program, it is saying that it should be sorted. So that's why I have to write here sorted function. Now going to run again and see the what is the value, and this is the one. Okay, so this is the case. So yeah, actually there was a disconnection, so maybe we can stop here for today. Okay, so we'll see tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week. Ta-ta.